you want to join us? I'm going to share Rael. Hey, I'm going to show your beautiful picture. Um, Rael is a one of our authors, and her chapter is called "Now I Know: Turning Pain into Purpose." Wow, we've been talking all morning about turning pain into purpose. So having your chapter be that as it's like right on point.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining us.
thank you. I was just going to put my background up. I didn't know if you were still live. I had to upload it.
Maybe a foreground too.
Ah, oh, you're funny, Carl. Ironic, ironic.
All right. Well, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and ask you, do you want me to give you a second to put it up there and I can ask Dawn to give us the our statistics of how we're doing?
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
All right, I'll do that. All right. Dawn, go ahead.
So far on Amazon, if you go to the Hope for Families page, which we have QR codes on all of our corners, which way am I going here? Over here. You could get to that page very easily. You can also do a search on Amazon. If you do a search for Building Bridges of Hope book, it should bring up the two books because we do have, this is our second volume in the series now. So the first one's teal, the second one's purple, and we have received the #1 new release on Amazon. So we're already there, which is great. We're going to keep driving it and see if we can get #1 in several categories. The first category we received it in is trauma psychology, which totally fits. The conversations that we've been having all morning have touched on the trauma aspect of it. So with that, yeah, here you can see #1 new release. Amazon gives these flags out, and we don't know how or what their algorithm is, so it's completely up to them. And they put this on our homepage, which is fantastic. So with that, I'll toss it back over to you.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been an exciting. We didn't exactly uh actually
Oh my God.
it's I realized that being Black Friday, I was like, oh, it's Black Friday. This is going to be great, and everybody's off work and on vacation and stuff like that. And then I thought, oh, wait a minute. They're going to be shopping. They're going to be busy with families. They're going to be have so many distractions. So, but so I guess what I'm saying is all of those distractions, and yet we've already made international international best-selling in one of the categories, and it came faster than in book one. I do like this one. This book has been an amazing project of how do we make it better? How do we make it better than what we did the first time out of the box? And one of the things we did is John curated a whole bunch of resources in the back of the book. In fact, we had some professionals that said just that alone makes it worth getting the book, is having those resources, because I think all of us would agree that we all, and you're a targeted parent, you find yourself in child custody conflict or whatever, like you don't go to school for that to know what to do. And we've got that right in the book, along with stories of hope. So it looks like Rael is ready. Thank you so much. That looks awesome. That's a different background. That's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So, Rael, what's the one message you hope readers take from your chapter?
I would say that the one thing that I hope that readers take away from this chapter is that there's a way to survive, right? And I didn't survive my experience because I was the strongest person in the room, but I started learning about this. And I think that knowledge and perseverance is the best way to get through this. And it makes it, I guess, manageable that you can turn it into something of a purpose.
Awesome. Yeah, it makes a big difference. I think that's something that's resonates with me. I think from the very beginning of my own journey is that that allowed the pain and the trauma to, not just be a tragedy. Didn't make it made my life worth something. Because we all know that if it happened to us, it happened to other people too. And some people, they need somebody like us that can be the light in their darkness. Sure. So, why is strengthening co-parenting and family bonds so important right now?
Well, I think that we're living in a time when families are under extraordinary pressures, emotionally, legally, and socially. And I've seen firsthand how quickly this can escalate into systems that divide children from love instead of protecting them. And when co parenting breaks down, it isn't just the parents that suffer. A lot of people talk about it's both of you guys and the conflict and high conflict, but really the issue is the children that carry that instability into every parts of their life. And now we understand the research that shows just how damaging that is to children forever. Strong family bonds are more than emotional, they are protective and they shape a child's sense of safety. So, right now, strengthening co parenting isn't about being perfect, but it is about giving children the stability that they need to learn and heal and grow and connected to both parents.
Awesome. For sure. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons that years ago I was the name that resonated with me for my organization was Kids Need Both. Because they get their DNA is, you know, makes up is made up of two people, two and it's important for them to understand who both sides of themselves.
Yeah, that's
Um,
one of the first hashtags that I ever picked up when I came into this back in 2018 was kids need both. That's the first one I started sharing and started using all the time in sharing my story. So yeah, I agree with that. Kids need both.
I think for me, children, when a person becomes your enemy, your nemesis, this person that you're having to fight against just so that you can have a relationship with your child, it's so easy to see things in black and white, good and bad. And it's really hard to even acknowledge that there's any goodness in their other parent at that point. And in fact, to do so feels so confronting that you're like, I can't even see them as a human being because um, that, it's like there's this fear of weakness, of being weak by doing so. Um, but I think it's important that we resist the urge to villainize the other parent in front of the child for sure, but also to see that the child um, doesn't need a perfect parent, like you said. A child needs to understand where they came from. And as long as, I know that the 50-50 equal shared parenting movement is just going like crazy in the different states, which I'm so happy for. Um, and they always have the operative word of as long as um, it's the presumption of 50-50, meaning that as long as a child is not subjected to true abuse, neglect, kind of things, let's do 50-50. Because you may hate that the other parent at this point, but that child needs to know what's good about them on both sides, so they can understand where they came from. Um, our families are not perfect, and there's things we can learn from the not so stellar sides of our family. we can learn compassion and understanding, and realize that's, that's what I see inside of me as
Mhm.
a positive, not necessarily a, we don't
Negative.
have to just play whack-a-mole on our DNA.
Yeah, it's so true that, first of all, kids don't know how to hate. They
Mhm.
learn how to hate. And they're
Yeah.
learning that from the examples that they're given. And I would even argue, and this is my opinion only, that I don't think children hate their other parent at all. I think that they're surviving.
Yeah.
And that's just how damaging the trauma is that kids have to navigate a trauma rather than navigating love. And they need more love in this world than anything. So,
Mhm.
And the
yeah.
children, as we've all said, are a reflection of both parents. They have the DNA in both
Hmm.
parents, and
Identifying as them. Yep.
and their childhood should not be determined by divorce.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It should be determined by, both parents who want the best for them and love them. So if you weren't able to make your marriage succeed, what you should be able to do for your children is make the divorce succeed and do what's best for the children that are, reflections of, both spouses.
Yeah, it's a tough subject because, having grown up in an evangelical home, it's like divorce is, not an option. It's, you stay together till death do you part. And, um, that was something that was ingrained in me. But I would say that's not the evil. The divorce, the separation is not the evil. It's the how you did it. And knowing that when you divorce, it it kind of like puts the end to something that's not healthy so that something healthy can arise from that. Because, the children are still, you still have a family unit. And
That's what I learned. I didn't realize that at the time. I thought if we could just, live separately, it would be better for the kids to stay in that relationship. But you're right, it's not healthy. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, and they need to know, they even talk about, like, I'm sure that there's statistics about divorce, children of divorce. There's so many different skills that they've developed, um, that children of intact families have not. And of course, we don't want our kids to learn a really great skill through trauma. We don't want that, but I guess the light out of it is that, they learn resilience. They learn how to navigate relationships, difficult relationships. So I guess that's the light in the whole, in a dark situation. I know, one of the things that I think is important is to educate yourself. Let yourself, if you're going through a custody divorce situation, I always highly recommend finding a coach, whether they're a paid coach or somebody who's just skilled in it. It's important um, to have someone alongside to help you navigate through these emotional spaces, because our brains kind of mine goes off the rails. I get emotional, then I can't think. I can't, and then I say things or do things that I wish I could take back. And that's where having a coach can help you to navigate those things, kind of like a coach, a football coach. Football coach does not play the game for you. Coach, they bring their wisdoms to say, oh, you could go this way, you could go that way. This would be the best strategy for getting to where you need to go. Um, so that you're not sitting in the stew of all the what if this and what if that and stuff. So I definitely recommend that. Um, let's see here. What gives you hope for families who are struggling today?
What gives me hope for families that are struggling is that I see parents and families every day. And what I see is resilience that refuses to disappear even after this unimaginable loss. So it's not a random thing, right? It can happen, and I see it all the time, and it's hard. I've watched children that reach out and want that connection with a targeted parent after they have done something like they had a coach or they were able to work on themselves. Um, my own hope came when I stopped waiting for the system to save us. I started building something myself. I learned what the term parental alienation was, and I said, oh my gosh, that's it. I need to learn everything I can about it. I need to deal with my grief. I need to deal with the anxiety. I need to have a coach. I need to have a therapist. I just needed all those supports because I just had to do everything that I could to do the best I could in this situation, right? I might not fix it for my family, but I certainly will make it better for someone else.
Right. Yeah, I think that's one of the hard things to do is, as having clients is you can't promise them the outcome they seek. Um, all you can do is help them navigate through it, in hopes of, having that outcome of a loving relationship with their child. Um, and I wish I could give that, make a promise of a happy ending for everybody. But that's not life, unfortunately. All right. Well, thank you, Rael. Thank you so much for joining us for um, this this launch weekend and being part of the success of this book. We're going to be doing. We've got this book 2, and then we have book 3. We're going to be taking applications sometime after the first of the year for those who are interested in participating in book number 3. So, and in the meantime, you can use the QR codes that are on our screens and purchase the book number 2 and book number 1. But right now, we're really pushing for book number 2 to get number 1 bestselling in multiple categories internationally. So, just ask for everybody to share, and do their part.
Thank you
So
so much for all that you guys do. This is a huge commitment that people probably don't realize how much of your life it's consumed but what a value it's given to other people. So I appreciate you guys all for the work that you're doing, and I encourage everyone to hopefully move up, move on, not move on, but move forward and keep going. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
And what's so appropriate, Rael, is, turning their pain into purpose. So you've been a great role model for thousands of mothers and fathers out there and grandparents dealing with this horrendous psychological abuse and showing that it can be done. So there is hope for families building bridges. And as we've seen, we're #1 new release for Amazon and #1 in trauma psychology. So hopefully during the course of the day that will grow, and it's due to your contributions. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, I'm going to pause this and then we're going to start back up so we